So this is the S-70 Black Hawk, which was the international version of the US Army's UH-60 Black Hawk. She's a twin-engined, four-bladed conventional helicopter, typically operating at around the 16,000 pound mark, capable of much more, however. The interesting feature of this aircraft, it was designed following Vietnam, and it was designed from the ground up as a combat aircraft, which is quite different to its predecessor, the Huey. The Huey went through a number of iterations because of combat, but this aeroplane was designed from the ground up to take soldiers into combat and to do all the other various bits and pieces that helicopters need to do in combat. But it was designed to be shot at and still survive. It was designed, obviously, to fight back as well and still survive. There are a number of design features through the aircraft that are part of that. Rather large drive shafts compared to previous helicopters, mainly because it was designed to take around and still keep functioning and keep the aircraft driving, keep the aircraft flying. Blades that were designed to take around and still stay on. These things were designed for 23mm impact, which was the standard Soviet forces anti-aircraft round at the time. Very robust aircraft. You can have a look, you can see very robust landing gear, designed to take impact, designed to get the airplane on the ground in a hurry, and also to protect the occupants in the event of something nasty happening and the aircraft hitting the ground very hard. We have numerous examples, both in Australian service and overseas, where this aircraft has literally saved the lives of the people inside in very adverse circumstances. We've hit the ground very hard, very fast, and with a number of people in it, and a goodly number of those people have survived. If we'd done some of the accidents that we've had in this aeroplane with the old Huey, we'd have a lot more fatalities, I'm quite certain. So the obvious features on this aeroplane are the ESSS tanks. These were designed originally as a throwaway item for the aeroplanes to be ferried across the Atlantic from the US to Europe if the balloon went up in Germany. Okay, so clearly they were going to have to get a lot of aeroplanes from the US across to Europe in a hurry, and this was the way they were going to do it. They were going to ferry them across from US to Greenland, and then from Greenland across. They'd land in the paddock and pull these little quick release pins down here and up in the top, and just drop this gear in the middle of the paddock, and suddenly you've got a combat helicopter again. Okay, it looks pretty ungainly, and it is. It's slow. It slows the aircraft right down, but it gives you massive range, massive compared to previous helicopter types. For a long time, Australians operated these aircraft just with the outboard tanks fitted, because we have much larger ranges to operate in Australia. So the outboard tanks gave you another 3,000 odd pounds of fuel, which gives you a lot more range. It's another 3+ hours of flying. There's a lot more wind resistance, if you like, a lot more drag on the aircraft because of those tanks and the wing. And we did have some problems with cracking in our beams at one stage, because I think mainly because we used these tanks excessively. They were never designed to be operated on the aircraft on a permanent basis. It was originally just a one-off to get the aircraft into Europe. Other features that you can see, we've got a nice little gunner's window here with a mount that fits in here that holds well, when we started it was the M60, it became the Mag 58, the door gun. So the door gunner sits in his door gunner's seat just there, strapped in, and we have another one on the other side. Notice that it's a separate hatch to the entryway for the guys in the back, so the guys in the back can get in and out quite happily while the door gunner is doing his thing with his Mag 58, which is an advantage if you're going into somewhere where the locals are not happy to see you. The hoist up there, again, a very capable hoist. Very difficult to use with this guy fitted, although I have done it. It makes it quite hard to get somebody up with the step there and the tank in place. Although when you're doing that, it's pretty much emergency. I've done offshore rescues where we've hoisted people up with these tanks fitted. But again, that's the guys in the back to handle that. A hook underneath, we've got an external load hook underneath, 4,000 pounds capability. Again, I think what's the standard blivet? We're normally lifting at least 1,500 kilos for practice. 1,500 pounds, sorry, not kilos, for practice. And the aircraft handles that quite satisfactorily as well. The system actually comes with a smaller tank version than this guy. These are the big tanks, but they're standard BRU bomb racks underneath each of these things, but we can't carry anything else other than fuel tanks here. Like I said, this was designed as a throwaway thing for one reason only, and that was just to put extra fuel in the tanks to get the airplane across.
We continue to use it just to get to somewhere far away, and then we drop them off, and then you've got an operational aircraft.
Yeah. We never actually just punched them off in the field. We never did that. We looked after them a bit better than that. But as I said, that was the design concept, was to do that. And I personally, I think we operated with them a bit too much. The airplane was never designed for that, but we did for a long time. A lot of the pictures that you see of Black Hawks, particularly in some of the early days, they've got the outboard tank fitted, the wings and the outboard tank, that is.